Chosen one, listen closely. This is not a word of encouragement. This is a divine correction. You have been tolerating stress as if it's a normal part of your walk. You've accepted pressure, lack, and uncertainty as if they were signs of spiritual maturity. But heaven says, enough. You were not born to live in cycles of anxiety. You were not called to manage scarcity. You were born for wealth, real, divine, untouchable wealth. And it's time to release what was never yours to carry. Stress is not your portion. Fear is not your portion. Survival mode is not your inheritance. You feel the tension in your body, don't you? That subtle panic when the bills come due, that tightening in your chest when you think about the future. That's not just emotion. That's a spiritual misalignment. The kingdom does not operate on panic. The kingdom moves through peace. You have been trained by the world to think that wealth is earned by constant effort, endless work, and relentless hustle. But I am telling you now, your wealth was established before your first breath. The provision for your calling was written into your blueprint. You are not here to chase after money. You are here to awaken to it. Let me be clear. God is not waiting to see if you become worthy of wealth. He already declared you worthy when He called you chosen. The inheritance is not in question. The only thing left is for you to step out of stress and step into alignment. Chosen one, the stress you're feeling is not from God. It's from confusion. You are trying to solve divine problems with human strategy. You keep asking how, and heaven keeps responding who. You are the who, you are the one. And provision is your promise. This isn't about waiting for wealth to fall out of the sky. This is about recognizing that you've been walking past open doors because you were too focused on your fears. It's about shifting from asking for help to expecting covenant fulfillment. Your Father is not a man that He should lie. He said He would provide. Now believe it. When you truly accept that you were born for wealth, stress no longer makes sense. You begin to live differently. You plan differently. You speak differently. You don't make decisions from panic. You make them from peace. You don't move to survive. You move to expand. This is not the season for you to shrink. It is not the moment to wait and see. This is the moment to rise in the fullness of who you are. The wealth is already set. The release is already scheduled. The only thing that must shift is your posture. No more fear, no more begging, no more stress. You were born for this. Now pause, like this video, subscribe, and comment the number 55 pace. This number represents divine alignment, covenant, and new beginnings, and it marks your agreement with this truth. You were born for wealth. Stress no more. Chosen one, let's go deeper, because the problem was never just about money. It was about identity. Somewhere along the way, you were taught to separate your calling from your provision. You were told to dream with God, but worry with man. That ends today. You don't need to earn what was written into your divine contract. You need to see it wake up to what's already been signed in your name. The enemy has been fighting your wealth, not because of greed, but because of impact. He knows what happens when a chosen one walks in both calling and capacity. You see, wealth in the kingdom is not just a resource. It's a revelation. It speaks, it testifies, it declares that your God is not a God of just enough. He is the God of more than enough. And when you walk in that truth unapologetically, chains break, systems tremble, generations shift. That's why the warfare has been so personal. It's not about dollars, it's about disruption. Because when you are wealthy and obedient, you become unstoppable. You don't just fund your own dreams, you become a vessel that funds divine agendas. Let me speak plainly. The lack you've been experiencing is not natural, it's strategic. Hell has tried to exhaust you emotionally so you would settle financially, but you must not, you cannot, because there are assignments on your wealth, there are lives attached to your overflow, and God will not let you miss this. This is your wealth alignment moment, and alignment doesn't begin with money, it begins with a mindset. Stop thinking like someone who's hoping to be blessed. Start moving like someone who's already been positioned to receive. Heaven is not reluctant. Heaven is ready. The only delay has been your agreement. You've been asking God to release the floodgates, but the Spirit is saying, I already did. You just haven't stepped under them yet. This is the moment to shift from pleading to positioning. You must walk like the inheritance is already yours, because it is. That means no more anxiety about what's next, no more second-guessing every move, no more praying as if you're on trial. You are not being evaluated, you are being elevated. And elevation requires bold steps, not cautious hesitation. The moment you stop negotiating with fear, your wealth will accelerate. Because wealth follows those who are aligned, not those who are anxious. Fear repels provision, but faith, true, grounded, covenant-rooted faith, draws it in. So if you're ready, let this be the day you stop shrinking your plans to match your budget. Start expanding your vision to match His promise. God will not give you a purpose He's not willing to fund. And He's not asking you to make it happen. He's asking you to believe that He already has. This is the shift, from stress to strategy, from waiting to walking, from hoping to having. You are not broke. You are not behind. You are not a burden. You are a chosen one born for wealth, walking into what's already been prepared. Chosen one, by now your spirit knows. This isn't just revelation, it's redirection. You're not simply learning something new. You are being called back to what was always yours. Divine wealth is not a new reward, it's your original setting. Stress is the foreign substance. Peace is the default. So here's the breakthrough truth. Heaven never designed your provision to be seasonal. The idea that abundance comes and goes is not divine, it's cultural. The kingdom operates on covenant, not condition. And if God made a covenant with you, then the flow is meant to be continuous. That's why many of you feel unsettled. You're tired, not because you're lazy, but because you've been trying to manage what God designed to be maintained through faith. You've been budgeting around fear instead of building from favor. You've been trimming your dreams instead of trusting His provision. But now that cycle ends, because what's coming isn't relief, it's reformation. God is not just sending another financial blessing, He's restoring the foundation of how you view wealth. And that starts with identity. Let me speak prophetically. You are not a struggler trying to succeed. You are a kingdom carrier being restored to clarity, and with clarity comes flow. When you know who you are, you stop striving. You start receiving. From now on, your wealth is not reactive, it's revealed. Every time you obey, every time you move with faith instead of fear, the next layer of provision is unlocked. Not because you worked for it, but because you were aligned to receive it. And let me tell you something sacred. Wealth is not just financial. The kind of wealth God is restoring includes peace that silences chaos, joy that outlasts sorrow, and wisdom that multiplies whatever you touch. This isn't a shallow prosperity, this is a spiritual economy. And you're in it now. You will begin to notice the shift. What used to drain you will begin to fall off. Conversations rooted in worry will feel too heavy. Decisions driven by stress will no longer make sense. This isn't burnout, it's spiritual maturity. Your soul is tired of building things that weren't born in peace. Chosen one, you are not a beggar. You are not waiting for permission. You are not hoping God notices you. He already has. And this release of wealth is not a gift for the elite. It's a return to the normalcy of favor for the faithful. But be warned, you cannot take stress with you where you're going. The next level of wealth demands a new atmosphere, not louder prayers, but deeper trust. Not more sacrifice, but fuller surrender. From now on, your life must match your identity. You are not a reactor, you are a releaser. And wealth doesn't just come to you, it flows from you. Ideas, connections, favor, peace, they all follow those who walk in covenant alignment. Stress no more, chosen one. You are walking into wealth that was written with your name, and no delay, no voice, no system can stop it now. Chosen one, this next part may confront you, but it will also free you, because you can't fully walk in wealth until you release the identity that was shaped in survival. You see, stress didn't just wear down your body, it rewired how you saw yourself. And now, heaven is confronting the lie at its root. You were never meant to live in reaction to lack. You were created to govern from overflow. Yet for years you've measured your value by how much you could endure, how much you could save, how little you could need. That is not divine humility. That is a distortion of sonship. You don't honor God by playing small. You honor Him by carrying what He gave you fully, by expanding, by owning the authority He entrusted to you. Wealth is not a distraction, it's a demonstration. It shows the world that heaven provides for its own. You were not sent to prove your worth through suffering. You were sent to reveal His nature through abundance. That doesn't mean every day is perfect, but it does mean that every need is covered. And more than that, it means you live in a way that invites others into freedom. That's why the season ahead will require decisions that scare the old version of you. Because the false version of you was formed in fear. It knows how to make cautious choices. It knows how to tolerate struggle, but it doesn't know how to expand in faith. God is not asking you to be wise by retreating. He is asking you to trust that wisdom includes boldness, that sometimes the safest thing you can do is say yes before the math makes sense. Heaven's provision always confirms movement, not comfort. Chosen one, you're being invited into a realm of financial peace that transcends numbers. You will begin to discern opportunities not by what they cost, but by what they carry. You'll start saying yes to rooms, investments, and visions that your past self would have disqualified in fear. Why? Because your identity has shifted. You are no longer the one waiting to be rescued. You are the one positioned to release solutions. That's what kingdom wealth is. It's the ability to fund answers in the earth. And you've been called to that level. No more shrinking. No more apologizing for dreaming big. No more downplaying the anointing that rests on your creativity, your mind, your hands. The ideas you've been holding. They were never random. They were blueprints, and wealth is attached to them. But here's the correction: you must start. Don't wait for perfect timing. Don't wait for approval. The provision will appear as you move. The favor will multiply as you build. The resources will be unlocked by your yes, not your comfort. Let this be the chapter where you become unrecognizable, not because you changed your look, but because you changed your agreement. You no longer serve fear. You no longer serve delay. You no longer serve the stress you called normal. You serve purpose. You serve truth. You serve the assignment that wealth was created to fund. Chosen one, this is not a suggestion. It's a summons. Chosen one, listen carefully. There is a divine reason why the battles around your finances have always felt so personal. The enemy never feared your survival. He feared your surplus. Because once you have more than enough, you stop living to get by and start moving to shift atmospheres. That's why the warfare intensified right before your breakthrough. Not because you were doing something wrong, but because you were about to break into a dimension of influence that hell could no longer delay. You see, lack doesn't just drain your account, it delays your assignment. And that's what the enemy was after. But the delay is broken, the fog is lifting, and heaven is releasing a fresh clarity over your life, not just about what you're called to do, but how you're called to fund it. You are stepping into a season where provision no longer feels separate from purpose. For too long, you've believed you could either serve God or prosper. But let me speak with authority. The two were never in conflict. That mindset was taught by systems that feared what happens when a righteous one becomes resourced. Because wealth in your hands doesn't just build dreams, it tears down darkness. And now, God is inviting you to see wealth not as a finish line, but as a foundation. It's not a sign that you made it. It's the sign that you're finally equipped to begin. The work ahead of you requires overflow, not just obedience. And heaven will not send you out empty-handed. But there's something critical you must do in this moment. Stop trying to understand supernatural provision through natural logic. Provision doesn't always show up in predictable ways. It won't always come through the channels you expect. Sometimes it will feel random. Other times, inconvenient. But it will always be right on time. You must become fluent in the language of favor. Learn to recognize divine appointments. Learn to respond when God says move, even when the map isn't complete. Wealth flows not to the cautious, but to the obedient. And don't let old fears speak in this new season. Just because something hasn't happened before doesn't mean it won't now. The past is not the blueprint for what God is about to do. If anything, the lack you endured is evidence of the kind of overflow being prepared. Your lack was not your destiny, it was your contrast. Chosen one, this next chapter requires a boldness that doesn't apologize for favor. You will be blessed openly, and some won't understand it. That's not your burden. The blessing isn't a show, it's a signal. Heaven is using your life to announce that divine wealth has returned to the faithful. Don't dull your light to stay palatable. Don't shrink your vision to stay relatable. God's about to move through your life in ways that silence every doubt, and your only job is to stay aligned. No more explaining your peace, no more apologizing for your access. The season of stress ends here. You are stepping into the demonstration of everything you were born to carry. Chosen one, now that the veil has been lifted, you must understand what is truly unfolding. This is not just about provision coming to you, it's about your entire environment shifting under the weight of divine assignment. Heaven is not merely responding to your needs, heaven is realigning your atmosphere. Stress has no authority where revelation is present. And now that you've seen the truth, you can never go back to the false comfort of fear. You've been awakened, not just to the reality of wealth, but to the rhythm of divine flow. You are about to witness what it feels like when provision begins to pursue you, when doors open before you knock, when resources arrive before the deadline, when partnerships are assigned, not chased. This is not fantasy. This is kingdom order, and you were born for it. But with this flow comes responsibility. You must be vigilant, not just against the lies of lack, but against the voices that will try to pull you back into smallness. Not everyone will understand the season you're entering. Some will question how you rose so quickly. Others will resent the shift they didn't see coming. Do not explain what God has endorsed. Do not shrink to soothe the insecurity of those still wrestling with what you've already overcome. Your rise is not arrogance, it's obedience. Your wealth is not excess, it's assignment. You've been called to carry something rare, the kind of abundance that carries glory, not pride. That multiplies peace, not ego. That speaks of heaven, not self. And because you've been refined through stress, you now have the character to steward what's coming. This is the moment where your prayers and your posture must match. You can't say, "I trust God," and keep making decisions from fear. You can't speak overflow and live like you expect shortage. There must be alignment, not just in your words, but in your daily rhythm. Wake up expecting supply. Move like someone who is already backed. Budget with boldness. Plan with power. Speak with assurance. This is the new standard. Heaven has shifted its language toward you. Now you must shift yours. And when stress tries to return, and it will, you must remember, it no longer fits. You've outgrown the need to overthink everything. You've outgrown the addiction to struggle. That season served its purpose, but it no longer defines you. You are now walking in the rhythm of release. And in this rhythm, you'll begin to notice strange favor. Contracts others fought for coming to you with ease, provision that bypasses human logic, rest in places where stress used to rule. It's not luck, it's not coincidence, it's alignment. And it doesn't stop here. What's flowing to you will also begin to flow through you, because real wealth doesn't end with possession. It multiplies through purpose. And what you're about to carry is bigger than you've ever imagined. This is not a temporary season. This is a divine reintroduction. The chosen one is rising, and this time with wealth as a witness. Chosen one, now that your posture has shifted, we must address what comes next: sustainability. Because this is not just about entering wealth, it's about remaining there, growing there, and building from that place without ever returning to the torment of stress. You must understand, God didn't bring you here for a temporary breakthrough. He brought you here for establishment. That means what's beginning to flow isn't a blessing to celebrate and move on from. It's a system to manage, a territory to govern, a dimension to maintain. And sustainability doesn't come through more effort. It comes through discernment. You must now steward your time, your energy, your focus, and your decisions like someone who is responsible for more than themselves. Because you are. When you were under stress, decisions were made out of urgency. But now decisions must be made from vision, from peace, from clarity. This is the shift from crisis mode to kingdom management. And this shift will test your discipline more than your faith. Many can receive, few can sustain. But you, chosen one, you are being equipped for both. You are not stepping into fragile wealth. You are stepping into rooted abundance, the kind that can't be shaken by market shifts, betrayal, or delay. Because it's not built on performance. It's built on prophetic instruction. You must become strategic in this season. That means not every opportunity is yours. Not every open door is from God. You will begin to discern between movement and momentum. Just because it moves doesn't mean it multiplies. Only say yes to what aligns with your assignment. Let me be clear. This next level of wealth isn't about more activity. It's about higher accuracy. God is giving you precision. You'll start sensing which meetings matter, which connections carry weight, which investments are covered by favor. And when you follow that precision, fruitfulness is inevitable. But hear this warning. Stress will try to return disguised as ambition. You will be tempted to overextend, to prove something, to secure the bag in your own strength. Don't fall for it. Your wealth is not built in hustle. It is built in holy rhythm. If peace leaves the decision, pause. If rest is sacrificed for results, reconsider. Because you were not designed to carry pressure, you were designed to carry presence. And presence is what multiplies provision. Sustainability is not just about maintaining what you have. It's about building without breaking, multiplying without losing your mind, growing without losing your ground. This is what divine wealth looks like. And as you walk this path, those around you will begin to notice. Your stability will become a testimony, not because you're loud, but because you're consistent. While others rise and fall, you will remain planted. While others chase, you will carry. While others burn out, you will burn brighter. Because this wealth is not about luck. It's about covenant. It's not built on performance, it's built on divine promise. And that promise still stands. Chosen one, you are no longer trying to escape lack. You are building a future from abundance, and nothing can reverse what has now been released. Chosen one, now that you have come this far, heaven has one final instruction. Walk like it's already done, because it is. What you've been waiting for is not on the way. It has already been decreed. The only thing that can delay its manifestation now is your refusal to move. This final chapter is not about doing more, it's about becoming more. You are being called to embody the version of yourself that divine wealth has always belonged to. The version that is no longer triggered by scarcity. The version that no longer negotiates with fear. The version that walks in bold peace no matter the season. You were not rescued from stress just to return to it when things get uncomfortable. You were delivered so that you can now set a new standard for everything connected to you. That means your family, your friendships, your business, your ministry. Everything must now submit to the rhythm of peace and overflow. You are not building alone. You are not investing blindly. You are not speaking to the air. You are aligning with a kingdom that never runs dry. And from this place you will begin to see something extraordinary. God's abundance moving faster than your requests. Miracles that show up before the prayer is finished. Answers that come before the question is fully formed. Opportunities that interrupt your routine because favor has decided it's time. And it is time. There will be moments when the enemy tries to reintroduce the stress you've been freed from. But this time you won't fall for it. Because now you know what it looks like to live under divine supply. You've tasted the rhythm of rest. You've walked in the pace of peace. And once you've seen it, you can't unsee it. This is your permanent posture. Hands open, spirit still, eyes forward. No more desperation. No more emotional transactions. You don't need to prove anything to be provided for. You don't need to impress God to remain in covenant. You simply need to stay in position. Every step from here must be taken with the authority of one who knows, I was born for this. And if others doubt you, so be it. You're not here to be understood. You're here to be established. You're not here to fit in. You're here to be planted, to prosper, to multiply. Because your prosperity is no longer just personal, it's prophetic. When you prosper, cycles break. When you prosper, fear loses power. When you prosper, generations heal. Your wealth is not a trophy. It's a testimony. Let the world wonder how you did it. Let them ask how peace replaced pressure. Let them watch as divine wealth builds what stress could never touch. And when they ask, don't point to your effort. Point to your alignment. Chosen one, stress no more. Lack no longer knows your name. Delay no longer governs your time. You are walking in divine rhythm now. You are backed by covenant. You are rooted in rest. And from this moment forward, your wealth will speak for you. The assignment is clear. The word is sealed. The shift is done. Walk.